Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hope you all are having a great Thursday. Hope you've been having a great work week. There's a few things to discuss. The awesome thing right now is the fact that lower humidity is creeping into the eastern U.S. In fact, it has all day. It's as far south as the Panhandle of Florida. This is water vapor loop in the darker colors right here. You're seeing that symbolizes dry air. And basically all these disturbances, these clouds, that's basically, well, disturbances in clouds. It's just convective and basically a bunch of energy. What's left of Ida is on off the coast, and we're done with the nasty weather. Unfortunately, we've had several deaths. I think the death total's up to like 41 just from yesterday from the tornado threat and the crazy flooding that happened overnight. There was a well-forecasted event from the meteorologist everywhere, and it was very unfortunate that it unfolded the way that it was forecast to unfold. So thoughts and prayers are out for them as they got hit very bad overnight with very just pretty much catastrophic flooding in the New York City area. But the treat today is that we've had lower humidity and our first real widespread fall cold front of the year. And the great thing is it's going to be very nice tonight. College football is about to be on the TV tonight for the next 5 days. Incredible weekend, even as far south as the southeast. So that we're going to briefly mention that, and then we're going to talk about what's going on with Larry and how Larry has a chance to impact Bermuda and Newfoundland, which is up here, parts of Canada. I don't know if I have really any viewers from that area, but we're going to discuss that too. So if you guys have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button if you haven't liked the video. Like the video if you like it. Thank you all for the amazing support. Got anything I can pray about, please put it in the comments, and we can all pray for you, including me and anybody else who would like to. So let's get going with this. So H-R model. Let's go on and just talk about this. We're going to talk about how cool it's going to get tonight. So check it out. We're in this evening. Look how cooling off in the interior northeast. Already getting to the 40s, 50s. But look as far south as we get into the coolest part of the morning right here. So this is just as the sun's coming up. Let's back it up one more frame here. Look at these 50s. Look at that 59 showing up in the Midlands of South Carolina. It's going to get into the 50s as far south as the Midlands and Southern Midlands of South Carolina. 50s going through all through North Carolina. There's some college football games. I know NC State's playing South Florida. If you're going to that game, you're probably there already, but phenomenal weather. I mean, and it's going to be like that the next couple days, all the way through Saturday, even parts of Sunday. Low humidity as a trough is digging more in this direction. So if you're in Texas, Oklahoma, even Louisiana, unfortunately, it's still going to be very warm and uncomfortable. But this cooler weather, even areas that maybe the areas of Panhandle of Florida could see the upper 60s tonight. Will continue into tomorrow, but you're definitely going to wake up in the morning if you didn't this morning and really say, wow, it really feels like like a breath of fresh air. Certain areas, in fact, I'm thinking about tonight, if you as far south as Georgia and South Carolina, Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia, you can really open your windows tonight and really let your house air out. Amazing weather going forward. So we'll talk about Larry now. So Larry is an 80-mile-per-hour hurricane, might get upgraded to an 85, 90-mile-per-hour hurricane as we get into the next few updates. But right now it's starting to look good. It's starting to undergo some pretty decent intensification. It's under warm sea surface temperatures. It's got great upper level outflows going on here with an anticyclonic flow, basically allowing the storm to ventilate in the opposite direction. So it's doing great. It's going to continue to strengthen, but it's not going to really bother anybody here in the short to medium term. Now you look right here. It's got a minimum pressure of a 985 millibar storm. You have an area of interest right here that's popped up here in the next 5 days. I really don't think this one is going to survive, but we'll continue to watch this. There's also still this area of interest in the Western Atlantic and the Western Caribbean, therefore. So we need to continue to watch that, but I really don't think this is going to do anything. But this is the big dog right here. Larry is forecast to become a major hurricane as early as overnight tomorrow into Saturday. So you got Bermuda right here, and you look at the cone for you guys in Bermuda. You know, you're thinking, oh Lord, are we going to get hit by a major hurricane? Well, there is a chance y'all get affected. You look at the intensity guidance. Over 50 to 60 to 70% of the guidance right here has this reaching major threshold, which is category 3 or higher. So it's really looking like this is going to be a big time storm, regardless if it hits anybody or not. So you look at the latest GFS, and we'll roll through this, and we're starting off overnight. We're getting into this weekend. We're getting into Saturday evening. Notice Bermuda is right here. watch what this storm does, and look how close this storm gets to Bermuda, you guys, as we get into next week. And we get into about late week, get into about Wednesday into Thursday. And basically this storm is probably going to be its strongest as it's beginning to turn more north. But this is showing to be a sub 970 millibar hurricane, which is Category 2 to Category 3 hurricane. Basically flirting with the island big time, as far as it's basically looking like it's going to be on the eastern side of the island, but it's very, very, very close. At the same time, you have a trough digging right here. But look what it does after it tries to scrape Bermuda. It comes up here, tries to almost merge with the trough, but it slams Newfoundland. This is about a little over a week out for you guys up in Newfoundland, but Newfoundland or Newfoundland. If I'm saying it wrong, sorry guys. You know how I am. I slur my words, and sometimes I get some of these countries and cities wrong the way I say it. Newfoundland, whatever it may be. But you guys need to be on alert about a week out, because this really has a chance to affect you guys. But we got a lot to figure out. You look at the latest ensembles, the GFS, and there is a lot of members still really heavily impacting Bermuda. If we look at this from yesterday, it's not quite as west, as it looks like the west trend kind of stopped today. That's great for areas in the eastern U.S. And I'll tell you why, because basically the trough, and I'll talk about here in a second, cold front, there's a potential another cold front around this time next week that has been showing on the models very, very consistently. And ultimately, that's going to be a driving, steering factor to kicking Larry back out to sea, regardless of how close it gets. So looking at the storm, you look at the latest European model, Bermuda is this little dot right here that you barely can probably see on your screen. The European gets this storm even stronger than the GFS, and it's even stronger. It is even stronger than the GFS, even at the same time frame that it is right there, its closest approach to Bermuda. It has it as a major hurricane, no doubt. And it's very close to Bermuda, but it's on the east side of Bermuda. So this is looking like the west trend has kind of stopped, but it isn't trending back east at all. So we need to continue to watch this, because there's a ridge of high pressure right here. You look at the latest spaghetti plots here. All of it's showing going out to sea. Even the furthest west plot right here has it still looking like it's about to go out to sea. But look up there in Newfoundland, whatever way you say it, and you guys could potentially really be impacted by this on down the road. So be watching out for this. And the steering currents behind this storm is really quite simple. If you look at this, basically the warm anomalies you see, which are the reds, and then the colder anomalies you see are troughs. The warmer anomalies you see, which is the reds, just like I just said, and then that's more of ridging of high pressure. So that's ridging. So you look here in the short term, there's a ridge of high pressure right here, but this begins to back up or retrograde, if you will. At the same time, you have this trough that's finally kicking out, that's giving us the nice weather. At this point, there's no ridge of high pressure right here keeping this from continuing to go west. Now, a lot of people want to compare this storm to Florence. The thing with Florence is Florence got to about this far north at this rate. It was really far north, considering the fact that, you know, storms that get as far north at this range that Florence did normally go out to sea. But what happened here is you had a big time ridge of high pressure that built in right here that allowed the storm to plow into North Carolina and South Carolina. Here, there's a little bit of weak ridging, but it's not enough. And eventually, a little bit of ridging forms here, right here. And I think that's kind of the reason why the trend west has happened, because you have a little bit of ridging. It's trying to build back over the storm, which allows the storm to track a little bit west. But at the same time, this blue you see here is a pretty substantial trough for this time of the year. And it undoubtedly kicks the storm back out. You see how the lines right here are buckling? That is a cold front. That symbolizes a cold front. And it kicks the storm back out, and it saves the eastern U.S., and then the ridge of high pressure builds. So that's pretty much the steering mechanisms to this event so far. It's pretty cut and dry, but we'll continue to monitor this. In the meantime, everybody enjoy the break. Enjoy the dry air, the fall nice cold front. Enjoy some college football. If you're not into football, just enjoy the nice weekend, because it's going to be really nice across almost the entire eastern U.S., except if you live in the deep, deep south areas like Florida and deep areas of southern Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi. But if you're in the southeast in general, you're going to have some nice and pleasant weather. So that's all I got, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll continue to keep y'all updated on Larry and if anything else develops out in the tropics. Y'all have a blessed evening, and thank y'all.